Hi, Judy from Witchpeace Craft. Welcome to my yarn adventure, my finale of the granny season. I have to apologise. I am home with a bad throat infection. I've just had a shower, taken some drugs. I was feeling pretty good, so I thought I'd pre-record this, ready to upload it for the 18th. Yeah, I've got nothing else other than a really bad throat infection. And I do get a headache and I get a bit worn out. So let's see how we go. My finale of the granny season started before the granny season was announced by Krista and Glenda of Creative Grandma. It started with the bag cowl with Bob Wilson 1, 2, 3. You made 5 giant squares. Now my squares are actually one round shorter than Claire's on Bob Wilson, so they look pretty big. I made it with USA style yarn from Spotlight. I had scraps that I used, and then I had 1 balls that I used, and I managed to do the whole thing with a uniform look, which I really like. The only thing for me was the bobble stitch did make my hands and fingers ache, my weak wrists, and I had to take my time. And I changed the handles slightly. I did crochet around the inside because it's a pretty heavy, weighty bag. I followed this cowl right through to the end. I even lined it. This is what I bought the lining for. I loved this when I finished it. I liked it so much that I actually put in a label. I rarely do this. Made in Australia with love. So there you have it. My only regret is there's an option to put in something solid to give it a more shape, and I didn't do that. Although my son said it would be easier to carry like this. But can you see the size of that? How much yarn I could put in that if I went shopping? Yes, I love this cowl. So that was my first entry in Season of the Granny for my finale. I then entered the block party cowl with Debbie the Canadian Crocheter and Karen from Happiness is Homemade. I made a modern granny tea cozy, granny squares, 4 granny squares with Valentine's Day hearts in, made with pure Australian wool. There are photos on my Instagram, my Facebook, and if I can find photos, I'll put one at the end. But yeah, I entered that on the block party Instagram feed. I then decided I would make this for a young girl because it was granny squares. I'd bought this pattern ages ago. She wanted me to make it and I'd been putting it off. But it was granny squares with some triangle granny squares. I borrowed it back from her and that was it. She has washed it. She says it washes great. This is where I got started to think her mum was a bit concerned because she's young, and I lined the cups for her. She likes this so much, she wants me to try and make a matching string summer skirt. Not necessarily with squares, but maybe the same colour. I said, I'll think about it. Because for those of you who know, I don't like granny squares. I can make the squares, I just don't have much fun joining them. But I will say, Claire's 1, 2, 3, and this was really good at the way they taught you to join them, and I did enjoy this a lot. So that was a Lincraft pattern, which is a local store in Lincraft 8-ply cotton. I have shown that before, but it was part of my Season of the Granny. So you think, well, she doesn't like granny's stitch or granny squares, she'd give up. Oh no. Suddenly appears on YouTube, Ninja Bunnies, Lovey, which is really the granny stitch and a big granny square. This is Mandela Genie. I had some of this. I like this. He's got such a cute face. The reason I like it is the head is part of the crochet. It all crochets together. I don't have to sew the head on. So this is a tutorial by Dawn at Ninja Bunny. And I will, if I haven't said it already, can't remember, link all patterns and tutorials in the description below. I highly recommend you give this a go. This is a great little lovey. So there you have it. That was something else I made. And then I was watching Laurel from the Dabbling Hook, and she joined her Unravel Mitten Squares in a blanket. I had done some at the end of last year and made a lap gown for charity, but I still had 9 or 10 left. And she motivated me to join the rest of my squares in another charity blanket. I just did a simple single crochet join, like picture frame them with grey. But yes, rather than leave it in the whip pile, it got joined because Laurel motivated me. So thanks for that. It's out of the whip pile, and that'll go to some charity next month when I make donations. And then Janet LaPre was doing the bag o' day. I think I said it last video, the Clover Squares. And that motivated me to do 4 Clover Squares and do a St. Patrick's Day tea cozy that I'll be leaving today because they need that for St. Patrick's Day. But there you have it. That was my season of the granny. For someone who doesn't like granny stitch, because I think it's old-fashioned and can't join squares, I didn't do too bad. And I did learn some things along the way that you can actually make a few granny squares and join them and do something nice. While I'm showing you my tea cozies, just for those that have been curious, this is my tea cozy whip basket. That's the book for my tea cozies. There are 6 tea cozy whips in there on the go at the moment. I don't normally have that many, but I've got that many because I was trying to find something a little different for my craft fair in July that I want to enter. And they're a bit more complicated, so it'll take me a bit longer to finish. Having said that, Australia, the Sydney Easter Royal Show has been cancelled because they don't want us to have group meetings. I'm still gonna continue on and make them because I always sell tea cozies, and hopefully everything's back on track by July and we still have our Cairns show, which is our craft fair that I want to enter. But that is just my tea cozy whip basket, 6. Besides that, I have 2 baby blankets on the go, a charity scrap blanket, a poncho that I am determined to finish, and it's my fault because I don't know, I either lose a stitch or gain a stitch, and I'm having to use stitch markers on every row to get it finished, but I'm getting there. And the reason I'm doing it is I really like it. I like the tutorial, I like the pattern, and I like the yarn that I've used. So yeah, in my whip basket there is a variety of yarn, and if and when I finish each tea cozy whip, I will bore you with them and show them to you. I didn't make Zooms. Life got in the way. I was pretty busy. I made one Zoom. My internet kept dropping in and out. I'm not sure they could hear me talking sometimes. But hopefully, Sharon, I will make it back to the Zoom this weekend. All things going according to plan. I haven't got worse and totally lost my voice. That's it, guys. I'm at home trying to rest. I will go downhill shortly. It's all the drugs kicking in. I don't watch much television, so please leave a comment. Any comment. Some of them are hilarious. I read them all. Some of them, the last video, my stash flash, gave me heaps of tips on throwing a wearable for me. I might sit and do that because I don't know, my head's a bit foggy and I'm not having much success crocheting the tea cozies. I probably could do the scrap blanket because it's just a basic V-stitch. But yes, please, if you watch this video, leave a comment, even if you just say hi. So thank you for watching. Until next time, let's make sure we take care of each other, even your neighbours, check on them, and make sure you have at least one crafty day. Bye for now.